Welcome to the third annual Dignity Through Work Breakfast. We're so glad you're all here this morning. Thank you for coming. As you know, the reason we are here is because this event is presented by the Community Foundation for the Disabled and the Columbus Community Center, recognizing local businesses and individuals that support Columbus in its mission to serve people with disabilities. We share success stories about companies and individuals that integrate business principles with our community mission. Again, we're very glad you're here. At this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. John Vanderstack, who is the president of the Community Foundation of the Disabled Board of Trustees. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome John Vanderstack.
Thanks, V. Welcome to a very wonderful event this morning, an event where we celebrate our partnerships with many businesses within our community, community leaders, and along with many wonderful clients and employees that we have at the Columbus Community Center. As we had mentioned, this is our third year, and this is an event that we hope to continue for many, many more years ahead. I'd like to thank each of you for being here, because I know it's a commitment to get here at 7:30 in the morning, but it is a very important event, and one that I think you will surely be uplifted by. I would like to take just a few minutes and introduce some of the people who are with us today. At our head table, we have Dean Hoffman, who is the Executive Director of the Columbus Community Center. We have Dr. McKill Withers, who is the Superintendent of the Salt Lake City School District. Stephani Victor will be our keynote speaker. She's a Paralympian, and we're very glad to have her with us today. We also have Senator Patricia Jones. She's the 4th District, representing the 4th District. And then, of course, you have heard from B. Murphy, and also Bishop H. David Burton from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, a great supporter of our organization. We're thankful to have him here today. And then, last but not least, I would like to recognize Stephanie. And Stephanie, would you stand up? I know she doesn't like this kind of thing, but Stephanie Mackay, I'd like to give her a big hand. She has put this event together. She works really hard, and I know she stresses out about it, but every year it's a successful event, and she can relax at about 9 o'clock today. So, I'd also like the board members of the Community Foundation for the Disabled to stand for just a moment and recognize them for their efforts. We have a great board member. These individuals are business people, leaders in our community, and they freely give of their time and of their money in support of the Columbus Community Center, and I really do appreciate all of their help and support. We have several activities throughout the year, and everyone is always so willing to pitch in and make our events a success. So thank you all for being here. This year, we have formed an advisory board. This is the first time that we have done this, and we have 5 advisory board members right now. We hope to expand that committee. But this is made up of leaders in our community who help advise and counsel us on things that we are doing as an organization to make sure that we're meeting the needs of the community that we live in. And I'd just like to introduce those, and if you're here, if you would stand, please. Chris Redgrave, Vice President, KSL. Mara Caravello, Principal Partner with the Exoro Group. B. Murphy, Manager of Community Relations with Modern Exposition Services. Carrie Bate, Executive Director of the Housing Authority of Salt Lake County. And Senator Patricia Jones, District 4 Senator and co-owner of Dan Jones and Associates. We'd like to thank our advisory board, if you could give them a round of applause. As always, an event like this cannot go on without a lot of sponsors and help in order to take care of the funding for an event like this. And we would like to thank our sponsors today. GE Capital is our Ruby sponsor. And then our supporting sponsors are US Bank, and also special thanks to the Hartford Group for sponsoring our keynote speaker. Our contributing sponsors, Patricia M. Adams Employee Benefits, Dan Jones and Associates, and Pitney Bowes Bank. And then our award sponsors for today, Patricia M. Adams Employee Benefits, American Express, Health Equity, and Pathway Associates. If we could give them a round of applause. The Community Foundation for the Disabled has a mission to build partnerships with our local businesses, and to support a social enterprise business model. The goal of this model is to train, employ, and support individuals so that they can be independent and self-sufficient citizens of our community. This business model drives our efforts to provide services and work programs to those with disabilities. This year, we have been celebrating our 40 years of service in this community. In 1968, a group of very loving parents had a vision of a better life for their children. And that's when the Columbus Community Center began. And that vision has not only helped their own children, but has helped hundreds of disabled citizens of our own community. And I would like to take just a minute to recognize if there's any original founding members of the Columbus Community Center, if you would stand and recognize them for their vision and insight into creating this great organization. Thank you very much. The business strategy for Columbus is to build strong partnerships with local businesses. Our goal is to find ways to train, employ, and support clients so that they can become self-sufficient, more independent, and enjoy a better quality of life. One of our great partners over the years has been the Salt Lake City School District. And we're glad to have Mikkel Withers with us today and appreciate his support as the superintendent of the Salt Lake City School District in supporting what Columbus does. They've been a great partner, and it's through that partnership that we're able to do many things for our clients and also for the employees of Columbus. And finally, I would like to have all of the staff members from Columbus who are here today stand, if they would please. I would like to give them a special thanks because it's through their efforts and their caring attitude toward working with the clients at Columbus that provides such support and well-being for the clients who they serve. They, a lot of times, go unheralded for their efforts, and I want to thank them especially. And not only the employees here, but the other employees that we have at our different work centers. They are all very dedicated and work very hard in their positions, and we appreciate their efforts. We're going to go ahead and just continue to eat at this time, and we'll give you a few minutes to eat, and then we'll turn the time back over to B, who will introduce our keynote speaker. But thank you again for being here. We appreciate your support, and we hope that you enjoyed the program today.
As breakfast is being served, ladies and gentlemen, we encourage you to go ahead and visit quietly. At this time, however, I'd like to introduce our keynote speaker. My task is to try to get you out of here by 9 o'clock this morning. I'm going to try to hold myself to that. But before I introduce our keynote speaker, I'd like to take this time again to thank the Hartford for sponsoring her through its U.S. Paralympic Speakers Bureau. Once again, let's give a big round of applause for the Hartford and their sponsorship. Now a few words about our keynote speaker. Former film student and actress Stephani Victor is living her own gold medal, if improbable, script. Loading her car in 1995, she was pinned against her vehicle when an out-of-control car veered into her driveway. Both legs were amputated above the knees. 3 years, 11 reconstructive surgeries later, she took a disabled skiing lesson and since then has won 2 Paralympic medals, a World Championship, and 5 overall World Cup titles. Her athletic accomplishments also include a downhill bronze medal at the 2002 Salt Lake City Paralympic Games, a gold medal in slalom at the 2006 Torino Paralympic Games, 14 career World Cup victories, 5 overall World Cup globes, 1 combined, 1 in giant slalom, and 3 in slalom. And finally, in 2007, Stephani won the IPC World Cup Overall Champion Cup Globe. Now for a moment or two, let's turn our attention to a short video about Stephani.
I hate that sound.
Art stimulates life in The Lengths I Will Go, an autobiographical documentary by Stephani Victor.
On December 19th, 1995, I was going out to dinner with my ex-boyfriend when an out-of-control car came up into the driveway and crushed me into the back of his vehicle. And in order for the doctor to save my life, he had to amputate both of my legs.
We heard this horrible noise that sounded like a freight train was coming. And it was smash, smash. And then it didn't stop. It hit me.
I was in intensive care for 10 days immediately following the amputation. And on Christmas Eve, I had a dream that I would make a documentary film about my recovery. When I woke up, I had just been instilled with this purpose called making a film, making a documentary, and that's what I hung on to. It became my lifeline.
Stephani recruited her friends and family to help document her rehabilitation.
Get everything that's going on in the room. This is the dressing change from the very first day of the year in 1996.
If the doctor was coming in to speak with me, well, I would film him. And it created a unique barrier because he wasn't talking directly to me, he was talking to me through my camera. Certainly people objected, even my own family at times, because this was very tense, emotional stuff to process.
That word stump is a really ugly, ugly word, and you shouldn't call part of your body that, you know, but it's still my leg.
After years of surgeries and physical therapy, Stephani learned to walk with prosthetic limbs, and she thought that would be the end of her story and her film. But she started a new chapter while attending the Sundance Film Festival.
While I was at the Sundance Festival, I tried skiing for the first time. The idea of me making the U.S. team, going to the Olympics, and winning a gold medal seemed like a pretty stellar way to finish my documentary. And I made that my purpose, my goal. I started skiing to get an ending for my documentary film.
Stephani went on to win a bronze medal at the 2002 Paralympics in Salt Lake City and a gold medal at the 2006 Games in Torino. She has also become a sought-after motivational speaker.
At the Olympic Games, the last thing that's in your mind is making history.
The only thing that you're thinking about is finishing, and finishing first. There are lots of different stories within this story. The first story, obviously, is woman loses her legs, goes through this transition period, and then creates another life without legs. That, to me, is one film. But the life that was created, this life as a ski racer, is now another film. It's a story of survival and will and triumph and giving thanks for every moment that we're here.
Stephani plans to release The Lengths I Will Go sometime next year.
Gentlemen, please welcome Stephani Victor.
I wasn't going to leave Bea hanging out here. Thank you so much. Oh, it's a pleasure to be here this morning. Hey, is anyone ready to go skiing? Come on! Mountains. I'm ready to go. Let's go. I actually just came in from Los Angeles, and when I was checking into the hotel last night, the bellman started asking me questions about my wheelchair, and I was explaining the carbon graphite and why my wheels light up when I roll, and that led, of course, into, well, I'm on the U.S. ski team and the U.S. Paralympic team, and oh, wow, well, what are you doing here? I said, I'm actually going to be speaking tomorrow morning early at a breakfast for the Columbus Community Center. And his eyes got huge, and he said, you're going to be speaking? I said, yeah, I'm the speaker tomorrow. I really care about skiing and everything. And he said, well, didn't you see on Jay Leno the two greatest fears that people have? And I said, what's that? And he said, public speaking and dying. I said, well, I've had a near death, and I travel around the world speaking, so I think I've got those fears pretty well conquered. So, good morning. The best laid plans. I had some plans. It started early, as I said, I'm alive. And the power that ensued from pulling up, and I pulled myself up, and then that cold, miserable bedpan went underneath me. And the nurse said, would you like some privacy? Yes, I would, I thought, immediately, if not sooner. And she started to walk away. And as I watched her back going out the door, I thought to myself, is she coming back? Have you ever pushed the nurse's call button? She won't respond in a timely manner. So lesson number one, be ready, be prepared. I wasn't prepared for that first task that I took on, and I paid for it. But the feeling was there. By the time I left the hospital, I was doing 20 pull-ups. I was such a show-off. Anyone who came in, you want to see me? What do I do? I do pull-ups on this bar. And that was it. That was the beginning of building my self-esteem and rediscovering who I am as a person. Do you know who you are as a person? Do you ever fill in the blanks and say to yourself, I am? What follows when you say those words? I am. A businessman, a businesswoman, a family man, a husband, a wife, a committed member of the community. Who are you? If you don't know, the society will make it up for you. I came to figure that out very quickly. Who I am is a loving, caring, joyous, happy, fun-seeking person. But that's not what I was told. From the very beginning, it was, you're handicapped, you're disabled, you're an amputee. What? That's not who I am. And I made up my mind that I was going to decide and define who I am, and not the outside. And that has become my life's work. Because we've got this social misconception that being disabled looks a certain way. And that it's limited, even incapable. Well, that's not me. I started setting goals. The first goal, I'm going to walk. Well, you saw how I ate it pretty badly with the prosthetic legs. And he's laughing. It's pretty funny, huh? And I was just like the clown that you punch, that plastic clown that bounces up. I went down on those prosthetic legs. I was going to come back up because something in me thought that if I put on these prosthetic devices and started walking around, I would be whole again. But I was already whole. I got news for you. The man upstairs who invented knees did a far better job than anything we've been able to replicate. And those prosthetic legs did nothing but slow me down. And I think you can tell I'm a pretty high-octane kind of a gal. So the wheelchair was the opportunity to get to where I wanted to go. Sport, physical activity, this was something I could measure. I could show people. From the one pull-up in ICU to 20 by the time I left, I could show who I am in sports. And I tried everything. Wheelchair basketball, Southern California Aquatic Masters team, tennis. Basketball is brutal, I gotta tell you. Those gals, the elbows in my face, the broken nails, I said, this is not for me. But I did it. I was a runner before my accident. Everyone said, get in those chairs and push. I have so much respect for these people. Do you know what a backache you get bent over and pushing like this for 100 miles? Not for me. The first time I got in the pool, it was my brother pushing my wheelchair as fast as he could to the edge of the water and stopping, and I fell in. He said, she's either going to sink or swim. He was right. I swim. You figure it out if you have the commitment and focus to do so. But you need an opportunity. I hadn't found my opportunity yet. I hadn't found the area, the place where I would shine and excel. But I was looking. And the whole time I was shooting and filming this whole thing and thinking I was going to make a documentary about it, which incidentally is not completed. And I ended up in Utah. Well, let me share this a little bit first. When I was in the hospital in Baltimore, I get a phone call. United States Senate calling for Stephani Victor. I looked at my brother, I said, yeah, right. Orrin Hatch's office is on the line. Yeah, right. I live in California. What's Orrin Hatch calling me for? It was him! Not his assistant, not his aide. He was on the phone. And my mother and I were like scrambling, you know. I'm in the hospital bed like, Orrin Hatch. Hi, Senator. I'm Stephani Victor. I know, I'm calling you. What can I do for you, sir? Well, I saw you last night on ABC 2020, and I'd love to bring you to Utah to speak at our annual women's conference. Mom, when's my surgery? Or another talk in Utah. Well, we worked around it. I actually got a day pass to get out of the hospital, fly to Utah, do this speech at the annual women's conference, which was one of the greatest experiences. And it was my first introduction to Utah. Now, I had been in the hospital for 6 months, so getting out on this day pass to come here from Baltimore, I wasn't in the hospital in California, I was coming from Baltimore. This was a big deal. And the senator's office very graciously took care of me, and they were so proud of Utah and the beautiful city of Salt Lake, they wanted to share it with me. And I didn't want to go back to the hospital, so I said, yes, I'll stay, show me everything. And I got the most amazing tour. And he said to me, you really fit in well And I said, oh, please, with all due respect, Senator, I live in California. I don't think I could take the snow. Well, 2 years later, I was back. This time I was promoting a film. I returned to work as an actress. Yeah, that helps to know people, and they know my work. But I was promoting this film at Sundance, and I was out to dinner, and this woman in the restaurant saw how I got around, how I transferred into my seat at the table, and she came up to me and very politely said, I'd like to introduce myself. Do you mind me asking, do you ski? Now normally when I get that question, do you mind me asking, it's going to follow with what? What happened to your legs? This is a question I have had to go to counsel upon spiritual counsel to get the answer to this question. Because you see, in the beginning, right after my accident, I would answer this question. The people pleaser in me would go into great detail to explain, well, this is what happened, but I'm okay, and don't feel bad, and I'm making a life for myself. And I was getting exhausted. And I asked a very close spiritual advisor of mine, how do I deal with this question? And she is a powerhouse. I mean, I'm talking a spirit lawyer. And she said, ask me the question. So I looked her right in the face and I said, what happened to you? The same tone that I get on the street from a stranger, I kid you not. Why do you have legs? What's wrong with you? Were you born like that? And she looked back at me with just a neutral but sweet face and these eyes so connected to God. And she said, why do you want to know? Marty, that's great! That's the best answer. That's my freedom. Because you know what I'm going to learn when I ask that question? Why do you want to know? I'm going to learn their intention. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but not everyone has a good intention. Sometimes that intention is to fulfill what I call the Jerry Springer complex. They've been flipping through their channels trying to get a shot in the arm of that trauma, action, excitement of everybody else, and then they'll be able to not connect to or think about their life because they got hooked up in somebody else's drama, not really caring about it or wanting to make a difference or change anything. They just needed a shot in the arm so that they could get off of their stuff that they weren't handling in their life. That's one intention. And that was the type of intention I was trying to satisfy that was leaving me completely bankrupt. Here's the good news. The other intention is people who really want to know. They care. They're curious. They want to learn. They want to connect. It doesn't always I've learned to be tolerant of people. And this gift of discernment to decide where's the intention coming from is truly a blessing. Because then I can reserve my energy for the Jerry Springer people. I say, none of your business. None ya. I don't have time to waste on them. I'm looking for the good people. And when I find the good people, they may not always phrase the question right. You know what I'm talking about here. Any friends, families, and persons with abilities, different abilities. I'm skiing down the slopes in Deer Valley, and this woman is screaming at me in the lift line, You with no legs! I need to talk to you! Okay, I was probably going too fast again. Goggles up, I look in her eye. What happened to you? What your spirit time? Why do you want to know? Well, my sister was just diagnosed with cancer, and they're talking about her losing her leg, and I've never seen anyone ski, and this is so amazing. Opportunity. Connection. An opportunity to connect. This opportunity for skiing came to me, as I was starting to tell you, from that dinner where this woman observed me and very politely wanted to know if I'd ever skied. Her question was not what happened to you, it was, do you want to try skiing? I'd like to invite you over to the National Ability Center. So I went, and I had my very first ski lesson with the head coach of the Park City team. Oh, he's a hoot. I can say that now, he's my husband. He's not here, incidentally. But my dear friend Michi White is here, and I just want to acknowledge her. Her tireless commitment for the last 20 years at the National Ability Center has provided people like me an opportunity. This opportunity was, on my first ski lesson, I go out with this Swiss guy, Marcel, my husband, and he says, I hope you're not here for a disabled ski lesson, because you know, we just don't teach that here. And I said, well, now you're talking my language, because who I am is not disabled. I may not have all that I used to work with, but I am able, and I'm going to show you, buddy, so let's get on the slopes. Opportunity. Ending for my film, my eyes were getting big, and he said, you know, I don't think you have a chance of making it. But the Olympic Games are going to be here in your own country, and there is no greater honor than participating in the Olympic Paralympic Games in your home country. I will train you to get there. What this opportunity turned into was 300 days a year on snow, traveling the globe, looking for it, creating our own way. The U.S. ski team, not at that time, was very welcoming to me because they had their gold, silver, and bronze medalist stars in their pocket already. They didn't need some wild card newcomer out of the woodwork. But I had a goal, and that was to win. Now, I fell a little short of that goal. I won the bronze. Not too bad for the underdog. In fact, I was so green that when I crossed the finish line, I was so in awe by the 5,000 great cheering fans in Salt Lake. And I made it! I was upright, I was in the finish, we just gone 70 miles an hour and off jumps and everything else. For those of you who saw it, you know what I'm talking about. I forgot to look at the scoreboard. I didn't know where I finished. By the time I turned around, my time was gone. Oh well, I'm probably wrong with this. And as I'm leaving, the media, God love them, this guy comes up to me, congratulations, you won! What? No, I did not win the downhill. And for a moment I'm thinking, gold, did I do it? You won the bronze. What? Okay, buddy, I gotta teach you something about winning. Bronze and winning. But I was still happy because I was on the podium. And this began a commitment to my life in skiing, which did, as you know, end in gold in Torino. It hasn't ended, I'm still skiing. But without the opportunity, without the Hartford, without US Paralympics, without the National Ability Center where it all began, I would not be able to shine my greatness, my ability, my courage, my fearlessness, my love, my passion. Take away the plans. And who are you? If you define yourself by who you are you prepared to continue to live up to who you are if those best laid plans are taken away? I have the answer. One word. Gratitude. If you want to solidify your foundation in knowing who you are, display your gratitude. Exercise gratitude. Start being grateful. If you don't know how to do this, I will tell you. Get in your car and drive down West Temple and go to the Columbus Community Center. Because what you will observe there will warm your heart, it will move you, it will inspire you, and you will feel grateful for everything that you have, and you will feel grateful for the spirit and hard work and commitment these young people demonstrate every day by showing up, working hard, and contributing to our community. I did. I got my boost of gratitude by going to the Columbus Community Center, and I am grateful for the friends I have met and made there. They inspire me. So, without further ado, we're going to move on to talking about the Scholarship Fund and ways that you can actively participate. I want to thank you for having me here today. You might have noticed that my picture is on the table. If you'd like me to sign up for you afterwards, I'd be happy to do so. This is part of the sponsorship through the Hartford. The Hartford Life Insurance is the founding sponsor of U.S. Paralympics. It's why I'm here today. This is also another opportunity. I too am employed as a speaker through the Hartford. So thank you for these opportunities and for the opportunity to be with you this morning. Have a nice day.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Stephanie, show her your love, would you please? Now I really wish I didn't have to try to get you out of here by 9. We could just listen to you more and more, Stephanie. Thank you very much. You know, it is said, Stephanie, that the race isn't given to the swift nor to the strong, but to he or she that endureth to the end. You exemplify that. Thank you very much. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce David Dubinsky, the Executive Director of NISH, and again, John Vanderstack, President of the Community Foundation for the Disabled Board of Trustees, to present the NISH Evelyn DeLines Award.
Real briefly, my name is David Dubinsky. I'm the Executive Director of the Pacific West Regional Office of NISH. NISH is a national nonprofit organization based in Washington, D.C. We work with community-based rehabilitation programs all over the United States. And I happen to manage the office that serves the West and Pacific Rim of that territory. One of the things we do is we work to help create employment. We bring jobs working directly with organizations like Columbus Community Center. So here, in this community, Dean Hoffman, the leader, and the rest of the staff are one of our best partners in Utah. We work with others in Utah because they exemplify greatness. In fact, a little bit later you're going to hear about Dean. He's very modest, but he won a NCWC Management Award. This is a peer award given by other people like Dean who run programs like this throughout the United States. So we'll hear a little bit more about that. I'm here to give a very special award to a very special person. Evelyn DeLines, not a name that you would know. She's a woman that grew up in the Midwest. She lives in Iowa. She was born with a severe disability, much like Stephanie. I don't think Evelyn ever recognized herself as severely disabled at all. And because of Evelyn and people like her, laws like the ADA were passed. It was the Evelyn DeLines of the world that ensured that people with disabilities were treated equally with everybody else in our country. Evelyn was a founding board member for NISH, and as I mentioned, we're a national organization. So we established an award in honor of Evelyn. I'm glad she's not here, because every time I say that, she thinks it's, I'm treating her like she's passed away. She hasn't. But this award is very special because it recognizes an individual with a disability who has overcome that through working. As I mentioned, we work with community-based organizations to bring contracts so individuals with disabilities can work in their community and earn a decent wage and learn a skill. one of the workers here at Columbus Community Center, James Malcolm. James, would you come up? James moved here, I believe, in 1994 from New Jersey, 1993. And he is an example of the kind of individual that succeeds in life because he puts all of his effort into excelling at the job that he's been given to do. James does a number of things, but one is he works at the Fort Douglas Cemetery, and exactly the Fort, and his peers throughout the country that have read the nominations presented by Columbus Community Center have decided that he's the kind of individual that is representative of this Evelyn Belines Award. So what I want to do is recognize, this also came with a little bit of cash, which he's probably already received and hopefully not spent all of it yet. What I want to say, this is a plaque. James, I'm just going to read it to you. The 2007 Evelyn Belines Award, Pacific West Region, to James Malcolm, Community Foundation for the Disabled, Salt Lake City, Utah, in recognition of outstanding achievement, having successfully graduated to other employment following work in the Ability One program. Okay? This award was announced at our national conference we held in May in Los Angeles, and there were over 1,500 people in the audience, but it couldn't be better than to give this to you here in front of all your friends and family. Thank you. Kim, before we leave, I have something else. Your father had surgery, and he couldn't be here. Neither of your parents were able to attend, but they did send a letter. It says, "Dear Jim, we are so sorry that we can't be with you on this exciting occasion, but we are extremely proud of you and your hard-earned achievements. Our heartfelt congratulations. Love, your mom and dad."
As was mentioned, Dean Hoffman received a very prestigious award for the Pacific West region. Dean, could you come up for just a minute? Dean doesn't like this kind of thing. He's very humble. He doesn't like to be recognized in front of crowds. But I want to let you know that Dean Hoffman is an exceptional person, an exceptional executive director of Columbus Community Center. Dean has been with the center now for 10 years. In 1998, he transferred or came down from Washington State. And in those 10 years, Columbus Community Center has achieved many milestones. To their new building, which he was instrumental in creating. Prior to that new building being built, they were in several different locations, a lot of transportation costs going back and forth. And through Dean's vision, Columbus Community Center is what it is today. And he has been able to create and generate jobs for many individuals within our community. One of the notable things that Columbus has recently created is a secure paper shredding facility. This is a nationally recognized facility, and Dean has been very instrumental in bringing that to Utah. The headquarters for, what's the name again, Secure National Document Alliance is headquartered here at the Columbus Community Center and represents work programs throughout the United States. And that all started here in Salt Lake City under Dean's leadership, and we appreciate that. So as what was mentioned earlier, Dean received from the National Council of Work Centers the Management Excellence Award for the Pacific Region, Pacific West Region. Let's give Dean a big hand.
Again, congratulations. Now, did he say New Jersey?
Yeah.
What exit? Phil, I told you good things come from New Jersey. At this time, I'd like to introduce and invite Tom Barnes, who is the past president for the Community Foundation for Disabled, to come up and present an award.
Thank you. I am the past president. I've been involved with Columbus now and the Community Foundation for Disabled for 10 years. I joined the board right as Dean Hoffman came down from Seattle, became our executive director, and I have to also congratulate him. A great deal of the success we've had, a lot of the things that we've accomplished have been by his vision for what he wanted to see for the people that we serve, and he's just a great leader. I want to thank him. We've given an award to James Malcolm, we've given an award to some other people for being great employees, but we can't award great employees if we don't have great employers. And it's important to us to have people that are willing to hire people with disabilities. And the Outstanding Business Partner of the Year Award is given to a company that's partnered with Columbus to create and deliver training and employment opportunities for individuals we serve. Columbus has a long history of working with companies in our community to provide meaningful employment for individuals who traditionally face a 65% unemployment rate. The collaborations with our business partners often turn into long-term relationships, and that's one reason we're honoring Einstein Noah Restaurant Group today. A lot of you probably remember Bracken Brothers Bagels, which was purchased by Einstein back in 1995. The Bracken Brothers already had established a corporate policy and a commitment to employ people with disabilities in our community when they made their first hire in 1993. Einstein's continue to honor their commitment, currently operating 9 stores in the Salt Lake City area that employ a number of individuals, some of whom have worked 10 to 15 years in the community. Currently, Columbus works with 4 individuals who work at local Einsteins, including Heather Campbell, who is one being honored today, later today, who's a finalist as our Columbus Outstanding Worker of the Year. And she's enjoyed over 12 years, of employment at the Holiday Einstein. Okay? There are also 3 other Columbus participants, Janet Bell, Judy Jefferson, and David Balaguli, and they're employed at local Einsteins in the Valley. It's the corporate policy of the Noah Einstein Restaurant Group to empower local area and general managers to incorporate a policy of social responsibility that fits the needs of the local community. Today we have 10 people from Einstein's restaurant groups attending our breakfast, all of whom are wonderful examples of how a large notion of social responsibility is reflected locally by individuals who are also our friends and our neighbors. Thank you for the following individuals from Einstein's who are joining us today. Tom Rossiker, Brandy Duran, Natalie Magleby, Wendy Jones, Kirsten Adams, Chad Hopkins, Rachel Carden, Christine Cannon, Chris Bassett, and Frank Bowman. I'd like to invite Brandy Duran and Natalie Magleby up to the stage to accept the Outstanding Business Partner of the Year Award on behalf of the Noah Einstein Restaurant Group.
On behalf of all of us at Einstein, I'd just like to say thank you and share with you our gratitude that we've had the opportunity to employ such valuable team members who go above and beyond to provide exceptional service and clean, friendly restaurants for our guests. I just am looking forward to many years of continued partnership with the community. Thank you.
Thank you again. And now to present the Social Enterprise Award, please welcome Mr. Dave Jones from Pathway Associates.
Thank you, Bea, and thanks to Columbus Community Center for putting together this wonderful event. I represent Pathway Associates, and it's our honor this year to present the Social Enterprise Award to a very deserving organization. The Social Enterprise Award honors companies that have partnered with the Columbus Community Center to implement creative and entrepreneurial efforts that have resulted in meaningful employment opportunities for people with disabilities in our community. The Social Enterprise Award today is going to be given to GE Capital Financial. And I want to mention, first of all, that GE Capital is what we call an industrial bank. A lot of people don't realize that industrial banks are special banks in our community because of our laws in Utah. They have chosen to domicile here. It's actually one of the largest industries that we have, and they invest millions of dollars in our community. We're very fortunate to have this industry here with us. GE Capital is one of the leading industrial banks in our community. It has done amazing things for our area. And it has done some very, very good things for our Columbus Community Center as well. They are being honored specifically for having used their community reinvestment funds to strategically leverage efforts in our community to provide social enterprise opportunities and meaningful employment opportunities for people in our community. I'd just like to give you a couple of examples. The first one, of course, is Columbus Community Center. 3 years ago, Columbus undertook to expand its shredding opportunities. Its shredding center has a shredding center that provides employment for a lot of people with disabilities. GE Capital came forward and issued a challenge grant, $30,000 challenge grant, which helped us leverage $120,000, which enabled us to expand this operation from an operation that employed 12 people to an operation that by the end of this year is going to employ 40 people with disabilities, which is a wonderful accomplishment. And just one of the many things that GE does for us. Myra Renwick is on the board of GE Capital, of Columbus Community Center, and she'll be here to help receive the award. But I also want to say that that's not all that they do, and that's not the only reason why they are getting this award today, because they have helped many other organizations in this social enterprise vein. For example, they've provided funding to the Pete Suazo financial literacy program at the Pete Suazo Business Center. They also helped Enable Industries, which is another organization that does so much for people with disabilities. They have invested in Glendale Middle School. In fact, they brought the Biz World program, financial program, to the middle school, Glendale Middle School. And this is a program that helps young people learn how to put together business plans. Apparently what this school has decided to do is buy a snow shack, and so they've written a business plan. The kids are actually going to operate the snow shack. The profits are going to go to help pay the kids, of course, but also to be invested in after-school programs. So it's a wonderful, wonderful program. You know, and I want to say that you know, the industrial banks like GE Capital do a lot of things, and the Community Reinvestment Act is part of the reason. But it's one thing to do something because it's government mandated. It's another thing to give to your community with genuine heart, compassion, and understanding, and a sincere desire to help those who are less fortunate. And I have to say that I'm a fundraising consultant. I deal with a lot of these banks, but first on every list, with every organization, when it comes time to ask for help and to seek real support, is GE Capital. And I have to say that Myra Renwick is one of the people who has done so much for this organization, or for this enterprise. And it's a pleasure today to invite to the podium Tim Carthy, who is the president of GE Capital Financial, and also Myra Renwick, who is the regulatory affairs officer. Please come forward and accept the award.
Tim, My boss doesn't know how easily I cry, but I'm very grateful to Dave Jones because he actually introduced me to Columbus several years ago. And it's been such a wonderful opportunity for GE to be part of this organization. You know, we haven't really talked a lot about today dignity through work, but that's what Columbus does. It provides dignity for all of their clients, and they focus not on people's disabilities, but on their abilities. And it's just absolutely such a wonderful opportunity to be involved with them. And if any of you out there are employers, you will not find a more dedicated group of people to come to work. And on behalf of GE, thank you very much for this award. It's just an honor for us to be part of this organization.
Again, thank you. At this time, I'd like to introduce Senator Pat Jones to present the Visionary Leadership Award.
My husband sends his regards today. He is, as many of you know, has been teaching at university for almost 50 years and has missed one class. And so he will not miss class, and that is why he's not here. Today, the Community Foundation for the Disabled and Columbus Community Center are recognizing the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the office of the presiding bishopric, and Bishop H. David Burton with the Visionary Leadership Award. This award honors individuals and organizations that have had a significant impact in the community by opening the doors of opportunity for people with disabilities. At the April 2008 General Conference, Bishop David Burton spoke of his admiration for people around the world of all faiths and who continually come together and with tender hearts and helping hands to bear one another's burdens. In his talk, he spoke of many examples of humanitarian efforts that brought immediate relief as well as long-term changes to areas hit by earthquakes, floods, and other natural disasters. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints humanitarian services have long been recognized around the world for responding to people who face overwhelming obstacles in their daily lives. One of the great strengths of the Office of the Presiding Bishopric has been in building partnerships with other humanitarian groups with the goal of building understanding and respect among people and nations in need of a helping hand. I love Bishop Burton. Bishop Burton, your leadership is certainly global in reach, but today we wanted to take this opportunity to recognize you and your colleagues. As for the many day-to-day kindnesses that are accepted with gratitude in our community. Today is a day that we want to stop and thank our friends and neighbors for the efforts that make a difference in the lives of people with disabilities and their families. We have hired well-trained employees that have come to us through Desert Industries training programs. We have been able to place individuals in community jobs with the help of the church employment services. Food donations through Welfare Square help individuals and their families make ends meet when a paycheck just doesn't stretch far enough. Desert Industries vouchers are more than a piece of paper when they are used to purchase appropriate work, clothing, sometimes the final obstacle persons face when looking for a job. Individuals in our residential programs are enjoying furniture that allows them to call a house their home. Local wards and states are always offering helping hands, which this year will result in Christmas presents for over 200 people. Grants have allowed us to expand our training and employment programs, so we have more opportunities available to people who face a 65% unemployment rate. Even in Utah, here, we have that same problem with our better economy. Your leadership is far-reaching and has touched many individuals and families. in very many profound ways. Today, on behalf of those individuals and families, the staff of the Columbus Community Center and the Community Foundation for the Disabled Board of Trustees, we want to thank you and your colleagues for extending a helping hand to our community. Bishop Burton, would you come forward and accept this award?
Thank you, Pat, and thank to each one of you. The expressions of gratitude are always appreciated. And breakfasts and dinners such as we're experiencing today are opportunities for all of us to make an expression of gratitude to those who reach out and help one another. I'm a member of the Columbus community. I graduated from Columbus Elementary School in 1950. I'm a product of Salt Lake City school system. I have one distinctive aspect of my life. Each of those city schools I attended has since been closed. And so I, along with the Columbus Community Center and all of you, express gratitude for the staff, for the board of directors, for the advisory board, and all who make this marvelous endeavor possible. Stephanie has described with such enthusiasm who she is and what each one of us can do with our own lives. Not only are we responsible for ourselves, but we're also children of a benevolent and loving Father in heaven. We all also have that great responsibility to reach out and assist our brothers and sisters around the world. Thank you, Columbus Community Center, for what you do. Thank you for how you do it. And thank you for those who are the recipients of your magnificent work. Thank you for this award. On behalf of the millions who I represent, we humbly accept it with great appreciation. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Just a real quick survey. Let me see by a show of hands, everybody that woke up this morning. I figured that must... Let me see that again. Everybody who woke up this morning, raise your hand. Stephanie, there is your point. And here is your proof for gratitude. If you woke up this morning, you should be grateful. At this time, I'd like to introduce Dr. Doug Nelson, who is the president of the Salt Lake School Board of Education, to present the Columbus Outstanding Worker Award. Dr. Nelson. Dean, would you join in?
On behalf of the Salt Lake City School District, I wanted to express my gratitude for all of you for coming this morning. Our public school district educates and serves many of the clients who were then later served by the Columbus Community Center, and we appreciate the long-standing partnership between Columbus and the school district. Without the Columbus Community Center, many of the special needs students served by the district would lack the opportunity to use the skills they've gained during their years of public education. And so on behalf of the entire school board, I wanted to thank both the hardworking staff of the Columbus Community Center and all the business partners that have supported them in their work. Because without you, these students who have been the benefits of a lot of hard work by our teachers and counselors in the school district would not be able to use the skills and the knowledge they've gained over their 13 years in the public school system. So thank you very much.
Boy, these are some hard acts to follow. I just want to say that my reward and my award, I do not like to have a lot of awards, but my award is every day. Every day when I come to work, a person comes in at the end of the day, and it's payday, and they show me how their check has increased, or they told me how wonderful a day they had, or even tell me the hard day that they've had. That's my day, and I can say with all the sincerity in the world is that I have never come to work one day in 37 years that I wasn't ready and willing to go to work. And it says a lot. You know, when you're in a business that, you know, that it makes you feel so good and you want to get up every morning and go. I mean, not many people can say that all the time, and that's something that's kept me going for all these years. So it's with great pleasure that I hand out these awards today. We have around 400 people that we serve a year, and every one of them deserves an award because they all give their heart and soul and to try to do the best job they can. And anyway, we can't honor everybody, so we have a select few that have really stepped out this year and done well. For 40 years, as you heard, Columbus has provided jobs and opportunities for people with disabilities, and I think the last count that I heard a few years back is we have really helped over 1,000 people become gainfully employed through our community in hundreds and hundreds of different businesses. And I'm sure that many of you have run into some of those folks over the years, and if you haven't, it's too bad because they're all really great people. Today we are recognizing 5 individuals who were nominated by their supervisors and honored finalists for the Columbus Outstanding Worker of the Year Award. These individuals are being recognized for the contributions that they make to Columbus and to our business partners. They're recognized for their willingness to learn and apply new skills, the contributions they make in the workplace, with their supervisors and fellow employees, and the commitment that results in value-added benefit for our business partners. The first person I'd like to recognize is Krista Hale. Krista, could you stand up? That's Krista right here. Krista, and she has worked at Columbus Production Services for the past 12 months. About 3 years ago, we purchased another facility, and we were setting that facility up for a production facility, and we teach a number of skills there. We have a lot of different contracts. And Krista's been there for the last 12 months, and she's somebody that all the supervisors there admire. She's really a pleasure to work with, and her staff and co-workers just really enjoy having her there. She's there every day, and she always got the smile on her face. So, thank you for her. The next person is Heather Campbell. Heather, would you stand up? Heather right over here. Heather's been working at Einstein's Brothers Bagels and Holidays since 1995. She's been there a long time. As you know, Einstein's been recognized as our business partner of the year because of their corporate commitment to providing Heather and others with long-term employment. In her 12 years, the staff have really enjoyed having her there, and she's done a great job. Russ Perry, one of our job coaches, works with her and helps her in her daily duties, and she does a great job. So she's a valued employee, and she's always in a good mood, and everyone enjoys her because she is fun to work with. So congratulations, Heather. The next person is Gary Hemmer. Gary, here. Gary's been working for the last, well, I don't know, 15 years as a custodian, and he presently has been at the at Energy Solutions Arena. Gary's been there for many years. He loves his job. He's a faithful employee, and he's the kind of person that'll always try to take on a challenge and do a great job. So, you know, one of the comments was that his fellow crewmakers really look for Gary for help when they need it, so he's always there to help. So, congratulations, Gary. Somebody that I've gotten to know over the last year or so. We talked a little bit about our shred business, and our manager was gone for about 3 weeks on vacation, and I was in there helping and trying to run that operation, and it was a very learning experience. And the person I got to know was Brian Millay. Oh, no. Brian. Came from us from Highland High School, and he began his vocational training in Columbus. When he got in our shredding facility, Brian was not, you know, very productive and had some issues and so forth, but he's worked through those. He's taken those challenges on to the point where I can say that Brian is basically a top gun in there. He runs one of our shredding machines. He's the person that he's the most focused individual I've ever met in my life. He's going to get that paper shredded in a timely manner, done right. And at the end of the day, when we usually close around 2:30, Brian won't leave until that last bale comes out. And if he doesn't get 6 or 7 bales a day, he's not a happy guy. So he's really a good guy. And so I'll tell you what, we have some good times together. And we need to get something done. We count on him, and he's a really key employee of the shredding business. So congratulations, Brian. The last person that we'd like to recognize is Sean Gilbert. Sean, would you stand up? Sean is another student of the Salt Lake School District, and in June 2008 he completed his school program, and now he works full-time as a Columbus employee, as a Salt Lake District School employee. Sean is a person that has had a lot of challenges in his life, and he's come a long way. Sean has worked his way up now to where one of the jobs that he works on is the Air National Guard. He's a custodian at the Air National Guard at the airport, and one of the state buildings at the Adult Probation and Parole building that he does custodial work. Sean has just recently been promoted to one of our, we only have a few of these in our agency, and he's a lead worker. So he's working his way up to be a supervisor, mostly helping other people with disabilities do their fine job. And he has a positive attitude. He's an excellent worker. He's there every day. We have a lot of fun with him. I kind of get on him every year. He starts looking like Grizzly Adams towards the end of the year. His beard gets looks like the ZZ Top. So we have a good time together. He's always got a smile, and he's just a fantastic worker. He's kind of the epitome of what we're all about. He really is an excellent worker. He gets along with everybody. He's always there. He's one of those guys, or one of those people that you really, when you need somebody to help you out, he's there to give a helping hand and do whatever it takes. So we want to thank all the finalists for the hard work, and we've done that. And now we'd like to announce that out of our 5 finalists this year, our person that's Outstanding Worker of the Year is Sean Gilbert. Yay!
Sean, you think you can cut some of that off and dye it black and let me borrow it? Once again, a big round of applause for these 5 finalists and the outstanding worker of the year. Once again, I'd like to invite Mark Wilkinson and Patricia Adams, Community Foundation for Disabled Board of Trustees, to come up and introduce the Dignity Through Work Scholarship Fund.
Almost at the end. One of the things we cherish as human beings is the opportunity to make a difference in our community, the opportunity to be productive, to have a fulfilling career, to contribute something of value of which we can be proud, and to retain our independence and have that feeling of self-sustainability. These things are common to all, regardless of their levels of ability. We already know that training and employment programs for people with disabilities are extremely effective. Columbus has a 40-year history of offering successful vocational programs which match willing employers with able adults in our community. Columbus wants to build on this success and reach out to individuals and their families, especially young adults who have the desire to work but not necessarily the means to prepare themselves to enter the workplace. It is a sad fact that 1 in 11 adults in our community who could be working are not working because of the obstacles they face due to their disabilities. We are excited today to announce the launch of the Dignity Through Work Scholarship Fund. We see the scholarship fund as a way for the community to come together and help a handful of individuals who have the desire and the ability to work in the community, but who may not have the means. We will be targeting young adults, ages 22 to 32, who have that desire but not necessarily the financial resources to get the training and support they need to be matched with a great employer for a productive and fulfilling career. And now I'd like to introduce Mark, who will talk to you a little bit about his son.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I come with 2 stewardship hats this morning. I'm a proud father of a beneficiary of Columbus, and I'm also a member of the Board of Trustees. That's a picture of my son. The first one was 22 years ago. This is the bear in that crib. He's made a, he's made a tremendous amount of progress. We went through a number of hurdles as he developed in a tremendously great. All the community resources. You probably are accustomed with your children to that they learn to eat and then they take a little bite of table food, and it's kind of an interesting little process. Jonathan had bronchopulmonary dysphagia, and he was breathing so fast because of the damage to his lungs by virtue of his prematurity. He couldn't swallow without aspirating. So we had to have occupational therapists help us to eat. Now, not all of his hurdles have been difficult. Some have been rather humorous. He's a typical adolescent. He's now almost 21 years old. One day I was jostling with him and teasing him a little bit, and out of the blue he extracted a line from Shrek and turned to me and he said, "You're a sad, strange little man." His wit is very much there, and I guess that's the point that I would make to you this morning as I express your gratitude for being here. In my lifetime, I have learned that there's a very fluid line between ability and disability. And I sometimes wonder if we don't incorrectly assign ability and the cognitive skills. My experience with my own son and those I've been privileged to work with in the Columbus Community Center leads me to believe that perhaps ability finds better expression in the cardinal virtues of life. And as we watch the ricocheting rhetoric in a political season, as we try to establish advantage over one another, I'm led to the simple example of these kind, sweet souls in this invisible population who just go about their daily walk being good people. And I guess that's the thought I would leave with you as a parent of one of these, and cognizant of parents who perhaps aren't blessed with the same level of resources. It really is something of a fearful thing to contemplate the future of a child that has some needs and some cognitive deficiencies. And so I would invite you to dig deeply into in a very challenging economic period to see if you could do something to help this wonderful invisible population on their road to independence.
This might be at the end. We are also excited to announce that GE Capital Financial has agreed to help us launch this wonderful scholarship program with an $8,000 donation, an amount that would fund one full scholarship for one person for a year. We would like to invite those of you here today to help us build on this generous gift from GE. Your help in launching this program today means that you are helping carry on the mission established by our founding parents 40 years ago, a grassroots effort that has the power to continue to find new and innovative ways to build a stronger community by supporting the individuals with disabilities who want to be contributing members of society. Here are some ways that your gifts can help. If you make a one-time gift today, your donation works in the following ways. $25 pays for a job coach to help an individual prepare for one interview. $35 pays for a day of vocational training for one individual, and $175 pays for a week of vocational training for one individual with disabilities. If you decide to make a monthly commitment, $50 a month helps cover the cost of a job coach who will provide the support to help an individual find and retain a job. $100 a month can help cover the cost of a placement specialist working in the community to identify job openings and match individuals with employers. $350 a month covers the cost of 6 months of vocational training for one person. Or if you would like to make a pledge today that would support one individual scholarship, $8,000 will go a long way. You've heard the stories of 5 incredible individuals today, and we would like your help in telling the stories of 4 more next year. No gift is too small. If everyone here today would set up a monthly donation on their credit card of $11, we would have enough to fund 4 full scholarships in a year. We thank you so much for your attendance this morning and your support of Columbus Community Center. And have a great day.
Thank you again, Mark. Ms. Adams. Once again, survey time. How many of you, by a show of hands, woke up this morning? Good. If you will look in the middle of your tables, you will see some envelopes with some pledge cards, and everyone that woke up this morning and raised their hands, please grab one of those envelopes and show a little bit of gratitude just for being here. The gratitude that will manifest itself in ways that our small contributions can make a huge difference in people's lives. Stephanie, here's my first installment. And I'm going to challenge you bankers over there. Match it. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for attending this 3rd annual Dignity Through Work breakfast. We appreciate your attendance. Thank you again. Thank you very much. Our small contribution